Hello everyone, it's me Uncle Dan. Today I am going to read Essex 6050, The Giant Germ, Chapter 6. Being in that washer was like having a huge waterfall crash down on us. I was starting to feel as if this was the unluckiest day of my life. Time for the shield, Miss Frizzle said. She hit a button on the dashboard, and a deep clear shield went up around the bus. There, that'll keep the water and heat outside the bus, but they can hurt us. And not a moment too soon. Hot soapy water was already gushing all around us like a gigantic car wash. Look, the viruses are getting washed away, Wanda said. You're making a clean break. The soapy water made everything outside the bus slippery. As we watched, the tiny cold causing viruses slid away from Jimmy's shirt and swirled harmlessly in the water. Soap makes everything so slick that it's difficult for viruses and other microbes to stick to anything, Miss Frizzle said. And if they can stick, they can make you sick. Use plenty of soap and warm water. Wash the palms, fingers, wrist, and the back of the hands. Don't forget to scrub under the fingernails. Wash for at least 15 to 10 to 15 seconds. That's enough time to wash away most microbes. Rinse. Dry your hands on your own towel or on a clean paper towel. Keeping clean is the way to stay microbe free, Carlos said. Just then, the soapy water made the magic school bus slide away from Jimmy's shirt. We swished and swirled about. With all the bad luck we had had so far, I was sure we were going to get washed down the drain with the water and cold causing viruses. But guess what? When the wash and rinse cycles were all finished, we wound up perched on one of the wet folds of Jimmy's shirt. At least it's clean, Phoebe said. No microbes from the desk of Miss Frizzle. Don't forget to wash your hands. If you touch your own eyes, mouth, nose, or open cuts with germy hands, germs can get inside your body and make you sick. Touching other people with germy hands can make them sick. That's why you should wash microbes away with soapy water. Soapy water. Be sure to wash before you prepare or eat food, treat a cut, or take care of someone who is sick. Be sure to wash after you go to the bathroom. Handle raw meat. Blow your nose, cough, or sneeze. Handle garbage. Are around someone who is sick. Play with or touch a pet. We all felt the jolt as Jimmy's mom pulled the shirt from the washing machine. We could see her give it a stiff shake, and then the magic school bus went flying across the kitchen. Plop! Next thing we knew, we had landed in a mound of sticky, moist dough. My mom does a lot of baking, so I knew exactly what the sticky stuff was. We are on top of some homemade bread dough. I told everyone. Jimmy's father began to pat the dough down into loaf pan. There was just one problem. The magic school bus was being patted too, right down inside the dough. This is what I call a sticky situation, Carlos said. The dough was already starting to cover the windows of the bus. The last thing I saw was the smiling face of Jimmy's father as he slid the loaf pan full of dough and us inside the oven to bake. What's he so happy about? I said. We're about to be baked to a crisp. Chapter 7. Just our luck, said Tim. We start out having a picnic lunch and we wind up getting cooked. We'll be fine. The heat shield is still on. The Fritz said. I was still a little worried. Isn't it marvelous? The Fritz said. Microbes are hard at work here too. Look at those yeast cells. Outside the bus windows, I saw balloon-shaped cells mixed in with the dough. There were pockets of air around some of them. Yeast is a kind of fungus, Wanda said, looking in DA's book. According to this, it makes bread rise. This field trip is really cooking. Right you are, Wanda, said Miss Frizzle. Yeast cells produce enzymes that break down the natural sugars in the bread dough into simpler materials the yeast cells can use for food. That's how yeast gets the energy it needs to make more yeast cells. When microbes use enzymes to break down sugars into simpler materials, we call the process fermentation. Just like the microbes in the compost bin make enzymes that break down old plants and animals into food they can use. Precisely, Miss Frizzle told. Does that mean, though, these yeast cells will make fresh soil and carbon dioxide gas, like the microbes in the compost bin? Tim asked. Arnold wrinkled up his nose. I don't think I want dirt in my bread. Actually, different microbes produce different byproducts, Miss Frizzle said. This yeast won't make fresh earth, but it'll make plenty of carbon dioxide gas. That's what makes the bread sponge and light. We could see exactly what the freeze was talking about all around us. Gas bubbled up around the yeast cell. The bread got puffier and puffier. So yeast goes on our most wanted list of microbes. We wanted to make bread rise. I'm starting to get the picture, Arnold said. Microbes really do a lot of good. I'm starting to get hungry. Ralphie said he wasn't the only one. We had all left our lunches in the playground at school. By the time the bread finished baking and Jimmy's dad took it out of the oven, our stomachs were growling like crazy. We couldn't see beyond the bread that surrounded us. But something was going on. I could feel the loaf shaking. What's happening now? I asked. A second later, I found out the razor-sharp blade of a knife sliced through the bread right next to the magic school bus. Did I ever jump? The next thing we knew, we are sitting on top of a freshly cut slice that Jimmy's dad placed on a plate. He carried it into the family room where Jimmy was resting on the couch with a blanket over him. This will help you feel better, his dad announced. Jimmy picked up the slice of warm bread. Being healthy helps you stay germ-free. Eating good foods like whole grains and fresh fruits and vegetables helps you to stay healthy. The right foods give your body the energy it needs to fight off disease-causing microbes. Phoebe started to look worried. If Jimmy sneezes out all those cold viruses, there are probably more inside his body. Right, she asked. Lots more, Miss Frizzle told her. They're inside Jimmy's nose and throat, battling against the natural defense systems in his body. The Fritz grinned as Jimmy popped the bread into his mouth. Get ready for more action and adventure, she said. We are going down the hatch. Chapter? What? I couldn't believe you were actually heading into Jimmy's body. How much worse could our luck get? We're about to find out. Magic School Bus slid to the back of Jimmy's throat, along with his bread. His throat looked really red and swollen. But that wasn't the only thing we noticed. Yikes, look at all those viruses, DA said. The tiny cold-causing viruses were stuck all over the cells lining Jimmy's throat. Those viruses are invading Jimmy's cells and making him sick, Miss Frizzle explained. But how? I wondered. Miss Frizzle tapped some buttons on the dashboard. The next thing we knew, the magic school bus shrank right down to virus size. Let's hitch a ride with the virus and see how it's done, said the fridge. She steered the bus over to one of the spiky round viruses. This virus may seem small, but it's capable of doing big damage, she said. As we watched, the virus used its spikes to drill into one of the cells lining Jimmy's throat. Those viruses weren't moving at all when we saw them outside Jimmy's body. Tim said, but now they are really coming alive. The spiked virus dug deeper and deeper. until it was actually inside Jimmy's cell. And then the magic school bus slipped in behind it. I could think of a million places I would rather be, like having lunch in a nice, clean, germ-free restaurant, but no such luck. Viruses lead exciting lives when they are around living cells. These viruses using the material inside Jimmy's cell to make more viruses, and we're right here to see it happen. What luck! Arnold's face was white. Bad luck, you mean? He said, very bad. I had to admit the situation was serious. Jimmy's cell was already filling up with other spiked viruses. They grew thicker and thicker around us. We need some crowd control in here, Phoebe said, but those viruses were completely out of control. Before long, there were so many new viruses that Jimmy's cells actually burst open. The viruses killed Jimmy's cell, Carlos said. And look, all the new viruses are attacking more of Jimmy's cells. No wonder he is sick, I said. I couldn't believe it. The viruses were everywhere. The giant germ is certainly hard at work, Miss Frizzle said. Ralphie stared out a bus window, but those viruses are tiny. Microbes may be small, said the fridge, but there are a lot of them, and the changes they make can be giant. Whether they tunnel food and leaves into humus, make a mess out of Jimmy's throat. Arnold finished. A few good microbes. But remember that microbes are not all bad. Some microbes provide our bodies with protein or important vitamin. Others crowd out harmful bacteria or make acids that keep harmful bacteria from multiplying and making us sick. But not to worry, class. Jimmy's body is already hard at work fighting the viruses, Miss Frizzle assured us. Miss Frizzle turned the wheel and drove the magic school bus straight through Jimmy's throat cells. And soon we found ourselves inside one of the blood vessels that carried blood through Jimmy's body. Wow! I grabbed my seat as the magic school bus was swept up by the fluid. Talk about speedy. This blood is moving fast. Arnold groaned, covering his eyes. Tell me when it's over. The magic school bus rushed along the blood vessel. The liquid part of the blood was clear, but there were lots of cells racing through the blood vessel with us. Miss Frizzle pointed to some red, saucer-shaped cells outside the bus windows. Those are red blood cells. They make our blood look red. The job is to bring oxygen to all the different parts of the body. What about those white blobs? Phoebe said. She pointed to some white cells that brushed alongside us in the clear liquid of the blood. Ah, wonderful white blood cells. Our body's biggest defense against microbes that make us sick, said the Free. They travel through the blood in our body, gobbling up germs wherever they find them. So Jimmy's white blood cells are like an army that's fighting against the viruses in his body, Tim said. Correct, you are, Tim. From the desk of Miss Frizzle, some sore throats are caused by bacteria. Viruses aren't the only microbes that can give us a sore throat. Sore throats can be caused by bacteria too. Bacteria such as streptococci, which cause strep throat, attack the cells in our throat. Long strings of bacteria work together and reproduce by dividing in two. If the bacteria reproduce faster than white blood cells can destroy them, our throat becomes infected and we get sick. We all watched as the white blood cells attacked the viruses in Jimmy's throat. The white blobs reached out and engulfed virus after virus. The white blood cells actually ate the viruses. But there are so many viruses. Can the white blood cells really kill them all? Well, yes, our bodies have ways of helping white blood cells to work better and faster. When there is an infection, we pump extra blood to the spot. That way there are more white blood cells to destroy the microbes. So that's why we are moving so fast. Fritz nodded. All that extra blood is what makes Jimmy's throat and nose red and swollen too. Even feeling tired and achy is a good sign. Jimmy feels that way because his body is using so much energy to destroy the viruses. Fevers are germ fighters. When we are sick, our body temperature goes up. That's because white blood cells reproduce faster and work better against viruses at a hotter temperature. So lots of the things that make Jimmy feel sick are actually signs that his body is doing a good job fighting the germs. The workings of the human body are a wonder to behold. Set the freeze. Within a few days, Jimmy's natural defenses will defeat the viruses and he will be well again. I was really glad to hear that. If only our luck would change for the better too. Can antibiotics kill viruses? No way. Antibiotics are medicines made from microbes. Antibiotics kill bacteria. They do a great job of curing disease caused by bacteria, like pneumonia and strep throat, but antibiotics cannot cure disease caused by viruses like measles, chickenpox, colds, and flu. It's up to white blood cells to win that battle. Outside the bus, a white blood cell sprayed some viruses with a cloud of tiny white particles. Check it out. That white blood cell just sprayed antibodies, DA said, referring to her book. That's how white blood cells mark invaders like viruses and bacteria, so other white blood cells know what to destroy. Those antibodies have another job too, said Miss Frizzle. They keep track of the disease-causing microbes they meet in the body so they can help fight them off faster the next time. So next time those viruses try to invade Jimmy's body will probably be able to fight them off before he even gets sick. I said, now that's good medicine, and Jimmy's body is doing it all on its own. I never knew our bodies were so good at taking care of themselves. Vaccines work against viruses. Vaccine is a shot that helps your body to resist viruses. Weakened germs are injected into your body. These germs are harmless, but they are very similar to germs that can make you sick. Your body's white blood cells go to work fighting the germs. Antibodies remember the germs, so your body is prepared to fight them even better in the future. When the real harmful germs come along, your body is able to kill them all before they can make you sick. Just then, a white blood cell spread a cloud of antibodies all over the bus. Uh-oh, now Jimmy's white blood cells see us as an invader. They think we are a virus. Jimmy's natural defenses are working perfectly, Miss Frizzle announced. The rest of us didn't feel quite so enthusiastic, especially when we noticed a white blood cell coming up from behind. I waited for a stroke of good luck. We really needed one, but that white blood cell kept stretching toward the magic school bus. If that white blood cell does its job, I said, we are history. Chapter 9, No Need to Panic, said Miss Frizzle. The magic school bus has one thing white blood cells don't. What's that? A turbocharged engine. Miss Frizzle hit the gas and we zoomed away from the white blood cells. Hooray, we cheered. The magic school bus sped through Jimmy's cells until we found ourselves back inside the cabin of his mouth again. There were a lot more white blood cells now. We saw plenty of viruses too, but the white blood cells were doing a great job of attacking them. Jimmy's going to be better in no time, Wanda said. Just then, Jimmy's mouth opened and daylight flooded over us. We knew what was coming next. Choo! Jimmy sneezed. The tremendous force of it sent the magic school bus flying out of his mouth. We spun wildly through the air. It was hard to tell exactly where we were, but when I saw a blur of green trees and blue sky, I knew we weren't indoors anymore. We shot right out the open window. Ralphie said. We landed on the street and pop! Magic school bus returned to its normal size. What a wild ride. I heard a loud rumbling, but it wasn't coming from the engine. It was our stomachs growling, and the loudest stomach of all was our driver, the Freeze. Paolo's Pizza. That was music to our ears. Paula's makes the best pizza. Guess our luck is changing for the better after all. I said as we got off the bus in the parking lot. I'll always feel that way after the Fritz field trips are over, Arnold said. The end.